Okay.
Welcome to the viewing.
Step behind the veil with us.
You're welcome.
So this episode is funeral traditions of Asia. So I picked 2 countries in Asia, and I picked Japan and China because they seemed to have the most interesting to me to share.
I know
There are other
Japan has some pretty
interesting ones. Yeah. So I'm going to start with Japan because. I have all my notes here. So for Japanese funerals, it usually goes wake, funeral ceremony, cremation, interment, and then memorial service after at the end. So most funerals in Japan follow a Buddhist style. Even families that aren't religious, it just seems to be more of a popular style of funeral and religious belief to practice. 90% of the funerals that are conducted are Buddhist ceremonies, and the cremation rate there exceeds 99%. So they don't really do traditional burial anymore.
I guess there's, lack of space and shit for...
Same with China. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Shinto and secular funerals also exist, but they're less common, which are just different, religions. The funerals typically span over 2 days. So they start with the wake. I wrote down all the pronunciations for all the different words in both countries. If I get them wrong, I'm sorry, because they're really hard to pronounce. So the wake in Japan is called an Otsuya. And then it's followed by a formal ceremony called a soshiki or a kokobetsu shiki. If I got those wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best.
You're doing great.
This is throughout the whole thing. There's so many words that are really hard to pronounce. More so in China because theirs is harder.
I find that harder.
So after a death occurs, the family will notify other family members and then the authorities.
So they notify the other family members before the authorities?
Or around the same time. Either or. They'll both be told at the same time.
Okay.
So the body is then, once they've notified everyone they need to notify, they'll wash the body. Usually they do this at home or they'll do it at a funeral hall. And it's usually the family that does this. So they'll wash the body, they dress the body in a white kimono, and then they're either laid out at home or in a funeral hall. For positioning, they position the body with the head facing north or west, which is a practice called Kita Kwar. But it's believed to face their head either to the north or west helps them guide the soul to the afterlife. It's like a Buddhist belief.
Yeah.
And then the Otsuya is held the evening before the funeral, and it allows family and friends and occasionally colleagues to come say their goodbyes. They offer incense, they console the bereaved, and then just pay their respects to the deceased. They're traditionally held overnight and last a couple hours.
Okay.
So attendees will wear black. Sometimes they'll wear just more traditional clothing, which is just black kimonos. But then other times too that women will just wear conservative black dresses and men will wear black suit and ties. And then a Buddhist priest will usually chant sutras, which are just prayers for the body. When the funeral ceremony is held, you'll usually see a portrait of the deceased, and then it's surrounded by flowers at a ceremonial altar, which is at the front of the hall or home. And then during the service, the ceremony, incense is offered again, and families and friends and whoever's in attendance will offer koden, which is condolence money. So it's not really seen as like a cheerful gift. It's more so seen as like an expression of sympathy, and then like their way of helping out with like funeral expenses, just because everyone mutual support basically. Everyone
Takes a
kind of-
village.
Yeah, exactly. And then the amount varies depending on the age, their relationship to the deceased, and then the region that they're in. So during the ceremony, the mood is different than that of the wake. During the ceremony, the mood's like more reserved and like respectful, and it's basically like everyone's trying to help keep the space together. Whereas at the wake, you'll see the most grief, where people are crying and breaking down. I read two different things. One said the body's not present for the ceremony, but then the rest of the things I read said that it is. And it seems to make more sense that the body is present because the deceased is the focal point, obviously, of the whole thing. So they usually have them at the front with like the flowers and their picture. And then they're usually cremated after that.
Yeah, it would seem odd not to have them there for the
Yeah. I think in certain
ceremony.
circumstances they may not have
Oh,
them,
yeah,
but
that's fair, yeah.
for the most part they are there. And then these are two like interesting rituals or traditions I found that the Japanese do. This one's called Kotsuage, which is basically the bone picking ritual. So after cremation, the family use special chopsticks, and the cremated remains are laid out on like a table.
Oh, they pick out the...
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they'll go through, they start at the feet and they pick out the bones and put them into the urn.
You mentioned chopsticks, and I got hungry.
Sushi now?
Yeah, and then you mentioned like the spring of the ashes, and I was like, I feel odd to be hungry.
To be hungry? Yeah. A weird tidbit of information, but when I do embalmings, I get hungry. I don't know why.
I mean, it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get hungry.
So
cheeseburger.
the Kasuaga ritual is a literal and physical transition where the family helps the deceased reach their final resting place. And I kind of mentioned it, but the bones are collected in a specific order. So they start with the feet and move upwards, and they do this to ensure the deceased isn't upside down in their urn because that's seen as disrespectful.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah. And they save the most significant bone for last. It's a U-shaped bone in your neck called a hyoid bone, and it's what supports your tongue. So it aids in like swallowing, speaking, breathing. They place this bone last because it's considered sacred because it symbolizes the connection between the brain and the body. And it's also linked to the throat Buddha Nodo Hotok. But yeah, the throat Buddha. For this ritual, the family will often work in pairs. So they'll sometimes lift the same bone at the same time to place into the urn. And that reflects the family's shared responsibility in the whole situation. Once the ritual is completed, the urn will sometimes be taken home for a little bit, and then it'll either be interred in their family grave or in a Buddhist temple cemetery.
Cool.
And then this ritual is just kind of like a moment of emotional connection and spiritual significance, and it allows the family members to express their love and pay their respects to the deceased. And it's seen as like the final act of care, kind of giving them a little bit of closure. Yeah. It also highlights the importance of ancestral worship, which is really big in Japan. Like they very much honor their past ancestors and the dead. And then this is a fun fact, but in Japan, or I guess in general, it's seen as taboo to pass food from chopstick to chopstick because they only reserve that for this ritual. So if you're seen doing that, you're frowned at. It's not nice. It's rude. Don't do that. Don't pass it through chopsticks. Put it on a plate. and then they can pick it up from the plate.
Yeah.
And then another tradition I found, it's not really, it doesn't happen during a funeral per se, but it's called Obon season, and it's from August 13th to 16th, and in some areas it begins in like mid-July, but it's their festival to celebrate, well, not celebrate, but honor the dead.
So it's like, what's that one for Mexico? Day of the Dead, kind of.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Me either. It's a traditional Buddhist festival that honors the spirits of ancestors that are believed to return to the families during this period. So the first day is them welcoming their ancestors. The next 2 days involves them visiting their graves and making offerings. And the final day features farewell fires, which are called okoribi. During Obon, families will clean the graves, they'll make offerings at home altars, and perform bon odori dances that are meant to entertain everyone involved and the spirits that come to visit. And then they'll also hang lanterns to guide the spirits home, and then when they leave, they will put out floating lanterns called Toro Nagashi, and those are released into rivers or seas at the end of the festival to guide the spirits back into the afterlife. It's kind of like how they have the marigold flowers.
Yeah.
So the offerings can include food, fresh fruits, and offerings such as they carve cucumbers to resemble horses, which is what they use to welcome the spirits in, because it symbolizes speed and helps the spirits arrive quickly. And then they also carve eggplants into the shape of a cow, which is for when they leave, which symbolizes a slow-moving cow or ox, because they want the spirits to leave slowly and linger as long as possible before they leave. Oh, and then the cow is also seen as sturdy, so any offerings they give them, the cow is meant to help them carry those offerings back into the afterworld, afterlife. The afterworld, same thing. Okay, so those are all the ones that I found that were very intriguing for Japan, and now we're going to China.
I just have to say, if I die and you don't dance to honor me,
it's cool though that
I'm gonna be mad.
How different countries, like Western cultures, like it's a funeral is such a sad occasion.
Yeah.
Where in other countries like Africa
celebrate
too, like they celebrate how, especially if they were an elderly person, they celebrate like how long they lived, and it's more of like a joyous occasion, and they don't wear black. A lot of these places do, but a lot of like Africa and stuff, they don't. They wear bright colors.
The Egyptians believe that the most important thing you could do in life is die.
Yeah, they have a huge thing about death. I'm gonna do that in the next season. Well, they're right.
But yeah, they are.
Okay, so Chinese traditions are guided by Confucian, Taoist, or Buddhist customs for their funerals. It varies by region, religion, and then the deceased social status and age. The family play a very central role in organizing funerals, and they usually consult a feng shui master, which helps them pick auspicious dates, times, burial locations, and then the specific date and time they pick ensures that the family and the deceased have good fortune and harmony. I did get to work on one Chinese funeral when I was working at the funeral home, and the lady was embalmed, and we had her for I think like 4 months because they were trying to pick a date that was a lucky day for them. Yeah. She lasted quite a while. Like I embalmed her.
Yeah.
She looked really good for being dead 4 months.
Yeah.
The mourning period is called Shousang. It traditionally lasts from 1 to 3 years. If it's a firstborn son that passed, but modern families now only mourn for 49 days. So the 49 days allows them to perform rituals, guide the deceased soul through the transitional state between life or death and rebirth. And the 49 days mourning period is a Buddhist and Taoist tradition called Chuachi. Chuachi. I'm not going to pronounce these properly because you have to like raise and lower your voice in certain pitches, and I'm not good at that. But I'm trying. So during this period, families will hold a 3-day wake, which allows the family and friends to pay their respects, share memories, and offer condolences. So similar to the Japan, it's just an extra day because ours is 2. Families may also hold overnight vigils called Shoya, which is to comfort the spirit of the deceased. So they'll like stay with them while they're transitioning over. Colors worn for Chinese funerals are white or dark clothing, and they avoid the color red because that's a color for happiness and it's more commonly worn for like weddings.
Mm-hmm.
I think Japan is also similar with the color red. I think I read that somewhere, but I might be wrong. Funeral ceremonies in China will also either be held at home or in temples, and they're presided over by monks, priests, or clergy, depending on the family's religious beliefs. Offerings for the deceased include food, incense, or joss paper, and I'll explain what that is a little bit later. The family will have a funeral procession to transport the body like to the burial or cremation site. Traditionally, the eldest son or grandson will lead the ceremony, and they'll be holding a picture of the deceased, and then close relatives will follow in strict like
Hierarchy?
Yeah. Order. So, and then it also reflecting on their relationship to the deceased. So they'll figure that out. I don't know. I didn't look that up. I just know that it's either this oldest son or grandson that leads. And then coffin bearers will follow the family, and then friends, and then monks, priests, or clergy will follow, chanting sutras or performing rituals to help the soul find peace and avoid becoming a restless ghost.
I find it nice how other countries, they support.
Yeah, it's like a whole, like the village all basically
Well, they
comes together.
support the deceased in their travel to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here we kind of just...
They don't think of that, really.
We don't. We think about how we're feeling about the situation.
Yeah, and how lost we are.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah. I think I like their belief and practice for that on like guiding them to where they should be going.
I definitely like that.
Yeah, because it's still sad. Like, yeah, you're gonna have feelings for yourself too, but I feel like it's about them. I guess they're not here anymore, but
honestly, that support with them, though, like for them, helping guide them to the afterlife, might bring some sort of closure for yourself too.
And then it gives you something to do, because like I know a lot of people during grief, they struggle because they don't know what to do. So that
they're
kind of gets
stuck in one spot and overwhelmed.
Yeah. This gives them like a job at least to do.
Yeah, a direction. Yeah.
So the number 3 is very significant during funeral ceremonies in China. It symbolizes respect and reverence. So a lot of gestures and chanting and prayers will be carried out 3 times. And I think that's where I set up here why they have a 3-day wake.
Mm-hmm.
So in China, burials used to be preferred, but the government changed that policy in 1956, and now it's mostly cremation, mostly in urban areas because they want to conserve land.
Yeah,
which is a lot of people in China. They have a big population.
Like the only one child rule or whatever it is.
Yeah. Do they still follow that?
I don't know.
But yeah, just because they have such a big population of people, cremation kind of took over because otherwise there'd have cemeteries take up a lot of room.
Yeah, they do.
So
Because there has to be a certain amount of space between graves too,
yeah,
right?
otherwise you're like buried on top of each other.
Yeah.
Although in certain countries they do that. I know. I think in Cuba and I think a couple other countries in that area, they will bury on top of each other.
Just
Because I know my sister's friend, someone in her family passed away and they didn't have a grave plot for her, so they used someone that they knew and they were buried on top of another coffin.
Yeah.
It kind of also like can serve space, so there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned joss paper. It's also known as ghost or spirit money. It's paper that's burned as an offering for the deceased, and it's supposed to provide them with wealth and goods in the afterlife. So it's traditionally made from coarse bamboo or rice paper, and it'll have like gold or silver foil on it, or seals, stamps, or it'll be engraved with designs. Now, like in the modern times, they will also fold them into shapes, so you can have them in the shapes of like cell phones or like a house,
kind of like origami
cars.
kind of idea.
Yeah, and it's basically because they see the afterlife and the living life are like mirrors of each
Yeah.
other. So whatever they had in life that brought them comfort, they want them to have in the afterlife.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. So this joss paper originated in China, and it dates back to the Wei and Jin dynasties, which are 220 to 420 AD. There are even earlier like examples of it, but they weren't with paper. They would use like rocks, bones, or cowrie shells, and because they just didn't have all the fancy stuff to.
So it's like some sort of offering, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's also like a symbolic offering that bridges the living and the spirit world together, which is another offering of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they also have a festival that honors the dead. It's called the Hungry Ghost Festival. It's pronounced Zhongyuan. I'm butchering all this, but the pronunciation for that was really hard. I listened to like a lady saying it on YouTube like over and over and over the other day, and I'm like, how do you like the last part of that is so my brain couldn't figure it out. But Chongyuan, the Hungry Ghost Festival. So theirs is held on the 15th night of the 7th lunar month, and then the 14th night in southern China, so around August or September. They also have a whole ghost month, so that whole month is dedicated to the dead, and then they have that specific day, which is more like celebrated than the whole month. So the specific day is when they have the actual festival. So it's when ghosts and spirits, including deceased ancestors, come out from the lower realm, which is called Diu or Preta, and it's when the gates of the underworld open. For some reason, in their beliefs, everyone goes down, and that's when they come back up.
They go down and come back up?
Like for the festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But does their underworld have different...
I wonder if they have like different levels. I'm not sure. I didn't look into that, but
different levels or different places or what?
Yeah, something. So family will prepare offerings for this as well, which include elaborate meals including fruits, rice, meats, and then they'll place them on altars for the spirits. It symbolizes respect and sustenance for the spirits, because they're obviously gonna be hungry.
I'd be hungry too.
Yep.
You right now.
So incense and joss paper are also burnt again for this festival because it's seen as like a comfort for the deceased.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the whole special ceremonies usually at dusk, and then families may koto. I didn't look up the pronunciation for that. In front of like their ancestral tables, they'll report or confess their behaviors to the ancestors and seek their blessing. So koto or kauto is an act of deep respect and submission or worship. So it basically involves the family like bowing really low, basically where their head touches the ground to get to like kind of like how you would confess in a confessional booth to a priest. Same thing. But you're confessing to your deceased ancestors and asking for their blessing or their forgiveness or for whatever you're confessing. Yeah. The festival also includes performances like operas and puppet shows, which are believed to entertain the spirits and obviously the people that are attending. It also reinforces social bonds with the like village or community involved.
Keeps them close, kind of.
Yeah, it brings people together.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, those are just the things I found that were interesting.
They seem like they make funerals into a lot more of a community thing too.
Yeah.
Like here we do like close friends and family.
Yeah, and
but this
sometimes
seems
it's like a private ceremony.
Yeah,
and
and
no one's
this
invited.
this seems more like an entire like village or town sort of.
Yeah, they all
ideal,
come
like-
together. They all share the grief. They all help everyone
Yeah,
process the grief.
yeah.
Whereas in Western cultures, it's so taboo. Like, death is so not talked
In Western
about.
culture, we bring them casseroles.
Yum, tuna casserole 5 times.
Macaroni.
Yeah, it's not. Death isn't talked about as much as I think it should be.
It should definitely be talked about more because it's a natural thing, right?
Yeah,
But everybody's
everyone's gonna
afraid
die.
of it.
Yep. For
There's
some
no
reason.
point in being afraid of it.
We're all gonna die
It's
eventually.
gonna happen.
It's inevitable.
Just live while you can.
Yep. But yeah, I definitely think like the Western culture should adapt the community aspect of funerals and death and dying.
Yeah.
And then I found some funny, like, sort of spooky things that you're supposed to avoid doing during the Hungry Ghost Festival and Obon season. So these are the ones from China that you're supposed to avoid during the Hungry Ghost Festival. So you're not supposed to go swimming because it's seen to, there's a superstition that it angers water spirits, specifically people who have drowned.
I'm going swimming.
Either the spirits are supposedly seen to try and drown you because they're mad, and then like the swimming in general just attracts these spirits,
Yeah.
which isn't good. You're also not supposed to stay out late, like after dark, because that's when spirits are more active. They're more out at night, so you gotta go home, go to bed.
I don't want to.
You're also supposed to refrain from taking pictures at night because you might capture something you don't want to see.
That and some places believe that cameras capture souls.
Yeah. I looked it up because you know that movie Shudder?
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if that's related. So that movie was loosely based off of that belief.
Yeah.
Which makes
Got a
sense.
Goosebumps episode like that too.
Yeah, they do. You're not supposed, this one made me laugh. You're not supposed to hang your clothes out at night because spirits might steal your clothes.
That's not nice. That is expensive.
Which might lead to a spooky encounter when you wake up and there's a ghost wearing your pants
on their head.
These are mine now. Taking them with me back to the underworld.
With Genevieve.
You're not supposed to speak when you're alone because it's supposed to invite spirits to interact with you. So I'm screwed.
Yeah, right. I talk about myself all the time. Whenever I'm doing something, I have to talk about it or else I forget what I'm doing. So
you just have to remember not to do it during the Hungry Ghost Festival.
No, I'd be doing it.
You're also not supposed to open your umbrella inside because spirits might come into your home and seek shelter under the umbrella, which is weird because it's bad luck to open your umbrella in like Western cultures.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to do with ghosts, but maybe it's linked. I didn't look into it.
It could be something that
you're not supposed to take the last bus or train because it's believed that public transport during these hours
I sent you
is
a
full of
video
spirits. So
Sent
don't.
you
You gotta walk.
a video for that.
And
From
you're not even supposed to be out late.
Mr.
so-
Ballin, I think it was.
Did you?
Yeah.
Huh.
But it was about a bus like that. And he like walked on. He was the only one on the bus. And he was like, wow, usually this is packed, right? So he goes, he sits down and everything, and he goes and takes a picture, right? Show his friend how empty it
Oh.
is, right? And in the picture,
There's one sitting there.
you
wasn't there?
no, you literally see an arm
Oh.
come down from the ceiling.
Hmm.
And he learns later on that he was the only one on the bus because you're not supposed to ride the bus at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I think there's quite a few movies too that kind of play into that belief.
Yeah.
You're also supposed to avoid looking under the prayer altars because it's seen as highly disrespectful to the spirits that are being honored. It's kind of like looking under their skirt, I guess.
Yeah, that's not nice. Freaking perv.
Get out of here. Oh, you're also not supposed to paint your nails black or any dark colors because spirits might think you're one of them and try to lead you back to the underworld.
They can have me.
So don't have black nails. Don't be goth during this season.
Yeah. Shame.
No. You also can't lean against walls because spirits like to stick to the walls because they're cooler and more shadier. And you're kind of squishing them if you do that. So don't do that. Oh, and then this one was kind of interesting. So if you feel a pat on your shoulder, you're not supposed to turn your head because in Chinese beliefs, you have two flames on each shoulder. And if you turn your head, you're snuffing that out. So if you do feel a pat on your shoulder, you're supposed to turn your entire body,
Oh.
not just your head. Because it makes you, if you turn your head and you snuff out your flame, it makes you vulnerable to spirits.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would just run away if someone patted me on the shoulder. I don't think I'd turn around.
Really, my neck doesn't turn that far anyways, so I gotta turn my whole body either way.
I'm not turning around if I feel a pat on my shoulder during that. So that's
I'm probably throwing a punch.
I'm just running,
I'm fighting the spirits.
screaming and running. So these are from Japan during the Obon season, things you shouldn't do during that. Some of them are similar, which was interesting. So they also believe that you shouldn't swim or go out to sea because ghosts that died at sea will pull you down. You're supposed to avoid loud activities because it's seen as disrespectful because the whole festival is like a quiet,
Yeah.
reserved, minus like the joyous fun things, but you're not supposed to be like intentionally really loud.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed to hang wind chimes or objects that make sounds because it'll attract spirits to your home and it's also considered unlucky. Also, you shouldn't hang out your laundry at night in Japan during this season either because same thing, ghosts will steal your clothes.
You know what? If I could clothe a couple homeless ghosts,
Yeah, you're right.
I'd be living.
You're not supposed to whistle at night because it summons supernatural monsters.
You're not supposed to whistle and keep going. Whistle at night anywhere.
No.
My legs are falling asleep.
And then you're also supposed to leave offerings for the Muenbo Toke, which are homeless ghosts or people that died of unnatural deaths.
They're the one that wants the clothes. They can have my clothes.
It might be. Just leave them some clothes. So they're people that died of unnatural deaths or they have nobody left to care for their graves. So you're supposed to leave them offerings and clean off their graves. If you don't, it's believed they'll cause you harm or bring you misfortune. Dishonor on your cow. That's China. But yeah, those are my... Oh, I do have a couple other ones that I found. They're on my phone. So these are from both countries. So this one is a Chinese custom. So when the time comes to seal the casket, everybody will turn their backs because if you're looking at the casket when it's being sealed, they believe that your soul could accidentally get trapped in the coffin with the deceased.
Friends.
Forever. Yeah, you're going. In Japan, funerals are almost never held on a day called Tomobiki. It basically translates to pulling friends along. Their superstition is that if you hold a funeral on this day, the deceased will literally pull one of their living friends or relatives to the grave with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's joyous.
And then I guess most crematoriums are completely closed on those days, so that no one can plan nothing.
So they don't want the ghosts to have friends.
No.
That's not very nice.
Well, they get their friends when they come back for the festivals. You can see them.
That's not
So this is another Japanese custom, sort of. So both men and women will wear kimonos or yukatas, but they'll wear them with the left side folded over the right. But when they're dressing a body for a traditional Buddhist burial, the garment is strictly folded right side over left, so the opposite way. It's a visual cue reserved only for the dead. And then if a living person accidentally wears theirs that way, it's seen as a spooky omen that you're dead.
I see.
Because you fucked up getting dressed in the morning.
Had a little bit too much to drink the night before, and I just got up on the wrong side of the kimono.
Yeah.
Shame.
So I was right. So wearing red in both countries is seen as taboo for funerals, because that's a color of joy and like celebration. But there is a beautiful exception. So if the deceased lived a really long life, so like 80 years or older, their passing is treated as a celebration of longevity rather than a tragedy. So in China, guests are allowed and sometimes encouraged to wear pink or touches of red, and the interior of the casket might also be lined in red.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then this is another Chinese belief. So during a Chinese wake, a very intimate ritual involves taking the person's personal hair comb and of the deceased and snapping it in half. So then one half will go in the casket and then one half the family will keep. And it's kind of like a keepsake for the family. And then it's a connection to like life and death, knowing that you have a part of them with you all of the time. It also allows the spirit to move on without clinging to the physical world. Yeah.
That's pretty freaking cool.
But that's all I got.
And around here, they're all like, can we put weed in with them when they get cremated?
Can I put a bottle of alcohol in there? Can you make it out of paper?
Yeah.
That would be a laugh.
Can you make it not alcohol?
Yeah. Can you just pretend? Or go to their grave after and pour them out?
Yeah, exactly. Pour one out for the bros.
Yeah. One for the homies.
2 for me.
But yeah, I definitely think that our culture should adapt a lot of Asian culture beliefs. And
ours, and also, like, this is going to sound horrible, but it feels so bland.
I know, ours are just, I mean, some of them I have worked on are very, like, they customize them to the person.
Yeah.
So they're cool and, like, they do fun things. But a lot of them are just so, like, repetitive and kind of boring.
Yeah.
So that sounds mean to say, but it's just so...
Here we kind of want every funeral and wake to kind of be the same.
Yeah, and I don't agree.
I don't like that. It should be more catered to the personality of the person.
I watched a show, I can't remember, I think it's on TLC, but this lady had a celebration of life before she died. So she had herself, like, in a coffin at the front of, like, the funeral home, and everyone shared, like, stories about her and what they liked about her while she was still alive, because she wanted to know what people were going to say when she was dead.
I want the, what are they called? That says all the stuff on them for the funeral.
An obituary card?
Sure. I want my obituary card to have a Ouija board on the back.
Or you could give out, like, a little one and be like, here, contact me.
Contact me, please.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, and I think in a way, like, I feel like that should also be more allowed, that you should have a celebration of life. If Especially if like you're getting up there or you're sick and you know you're gonna pass.
Have a party
Why
while you're
not?
alive. Might as
Yeah.
well. Go for it.
And then you know what everyone's gonna say about you, and
Yeah, it'll be good.
I think this show might have also been on TLC, but they had people embalmed into like weird positions. Like there was one guy on a motorbike, and he was embalmed to be able to sit on the motorbike, and then for his funeral position, they had the bike be pushed through. And then there was another guy he was a rapper in life. Not a big one, but like he liked to rap. And he was embalmed to stand up, and then his funeral service was held in a club, and he had a microphone in his hand and he was up on stage.
Dude, I want you to like just want to be embalmed standing up and then have a bunch of mannequins around me and we're all gonna be wearing sunglasses.
Should I guess which is which?
Yeah, which one's Katie?
That's terrifying. That reminds me of that game with the mannequins that move around. That Markiplier played.
That's what I was thinking of.
Spooky. And then there was another one where she was embalmed sitting down, holding I think it was a martini or something. And she had a cigarette in her other hand.
You know what? That is how I'm trying to be.
Yeah, that would be a way to go. But no, I don't want to be embalmed. I want to be, I've already told this, I think. I want to be wrapped up in a cloth and chucked in a hole.
Yeah, want to be given to the
nature,
to the mushrooms,
yeah,
and
take me back,
and the trees, and the birds that'll pluck out my eyeballs.
Or I think it'd be really cool to donate my body to a body farm.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Not to science.
Yeah, I know.
No, to a body farm, so people can come and learn what it looks like when someone's been left out in the sun too long when they're dead.
The only time you'll be on the sun for that long.
No. Yeah.
Wait, do dead bodies burn? Like,
no, but they get like gross.
Okay, yeah, that's all I needed to know.
Stinky.
Well, yeah.
Or throw me in a pool and then they can see what happens when they've been in water too long.
Yeah, that's another good
Or, I don't know, use me for something.
God.
Not, no.
No,
I take that back. I take it back. Don't use me for that. Just throw me in a hole.
Just nobody touch her.
Or do what me and Katie were talking about. So in, what country was that? Spain? I think it was Spain. I think it was in Spain. But they had certain nuns would be propped up when they died on the seats.
Yeah.
And people would come in and like pray to them as they're like actively rotting. And in the video, the girl was confused because the seats had holes and she thought they were toilets. No. It's just so all like their goop can be to go down the hole thing. And then Katie's like, that's what I'm doing with your body. Yeah. And I said, that's fine, but I have to be naked.
So it'll be really awkward to explain to the cops why there's a naked body in my pantry.
Yeah, and then I said it's a DIY Halloween decoration.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea.
Do-it-yourself skeleton.
Oh, God. This doesn't get flagged.
Yeah. And then you can keep me forever as a skeleton and prop me up on your roof for Halloween in weird poses. Maybe I'll have a broom.
Honey, you're
maybe put me in a witch hat.
You're sleeping on the other side of my bed. Like, that's...
Just make sure I have my glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have your glasses. I'll give you that.
And, I would say my piercings, but there's really nothing. You could glue them on.
Tape them on?
I don't have a belly button, no.
I will do my best. Okay.
I won't have a belly button. Let's be an open cavity.
Oh, clay or something.
Paper mache.
Paper mache.
Rebuild me.
What are you doing in there?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Don't come in here.
Yeah. I always wondered, like, if you can taxidermy people. I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well skin holds up.
Yeah, it'd be like mummification, kind of, in the end.
Because I know in animals, they scrape off the skin or the fur.
That sounds like another episode.
Yeah. We'll look into that. See if we can
Taxidermy.
It would have to be like mummification. You
Yeah.
have to basically mummify them and wrap them in like salts and
Other
lotions and stuff.
Lotion.
Lotion.
It's a trigger word.
Yeah. If you know, you know. All right.
Yeah.
Well, rest easy.
If you can.
Good night.